Netflix! Netflix is falling off a cliff? No! What to do? Is the Squid Game over? Will we not have any more scandals out there? Is there no more Stranger Things about to happen? We already lost 13 Reasons Why. What's going to happen to our beloved Netflix? Well, in this video I will discuss what has happened, why has the stock tanked, and what you can do as an investor if you love Netflix. Or should you just run away? Welcome back to the channel, Barry Charles here. If you can smash the like button, do we break the screen? No way! Back to the channel. Yes, Netflix has escaped out of the television and into the rubbish bin. What is happening to Netflix? What can we do, folks? Well, if you haven't noticed the last couple of days, it was about as high as $350 and then it's tanked to about $220. Will it go under 200? Wow, we'll find out in the next couple of days. If you get the chance to do it, maybe it's a good time to buy. About 35% down. But is it worth it? Is Netflix part of the future or is it on the decline? And that's why shareholders ran away with the spoon, because Netflix has begun, the peak has ended, and it's on the downhill slide. Or is it? That is the discussion of today. Netflix, for the first time since it's reported, has gone decline on the amount of new people coming onto the service, and the numbers begin to well. Don't forget that Russia was cut out. Russia has not, you can't get Netflix in Russia at the moment, so that has skewed this thing a little bit. So this is something to be aware of. But Netflix for me is an absolute, it's on its way out for mine. If you want my honest opinion for the people that are looking to buy the stock or already a shareholder, you probably should have got out at $600 when it was at $600. Absolutely out of this world. Euphoria. This is going to the moon like a whole lot of stock, and next minute they crash back down to earth. Just like Zoom stock and Fire and all these sort of stocks. Where if you go for something like Apple, it just consistently goes up. But what about Netflix? Is it a bargain? Or are you into a value trap? Well, I think you're into a value trap. For me, as I said before when I stuffed, $100 would be my bet for Netflix, which I don't think you'll get to. But if it got to 100, then I'd be interested in buying. But even then, I don't know. The problem with Netflix is, have they got anywhere else to go? If the subscription base goes, gone. Well, to think about it, they need a lot of people to get them to where they need to be. And with a lot of this content costing billions of dollars, not just millions, billions of dollars, they need to keep coming 100,000 plus new subscribers every year, if not more, or actually probably more, to keep up with the demand. So what can Netflix do? Should they just give up and walk away? Well, I'm sorry to say it, but I think they're going to turn like a blockbuster. They may disappear altogether. Why? Because the content is getting more costly and they're not providing enough content to keep people on the channel. And one thing I've always been concerned about with Netflix is the lack of quality movies. Now this is a staple for anybody. Yes, they've got pretty good series. I like the series part of Netflix, but their movies are just not up to standard. I do like some of the Netflix movies that have come out, but they need a whole lot more, and I don't think they have the money to be able to roll out a big thing. When you compare to other shows like Disney, they just absolutely nail their movies and continue to provide movies that just about every time it's a 10 out of 10. They hardly make a mistake with their cartoons. Something Netflix, obviously Netflix is more broad range than Disney, but Disney just seems to, anyone can watch, where Netflix is not so much. That's the thing, that Disney has a positive. So Netflix, where are the positives? Well, they're still growing revenue. Well, their revenue is up 16% year to date roughly at the moment, and as well as their net income is up 12% as well. But that subscriber base is very concerning for the people out there. At 220, it's just too low for me to say buy this thing. And is there enough series out there to say to you, bang, 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 I gotta buy this? Well, Manifest is a good one, but it's only got one more season. I mean, there's a few very good shows on there. I'm not saying there isn't ones on there. Bridgerton. But what concerns me is their movies. And that is what most people generally want from their subscription, is movies. And series, of course, but great movies. Just to sit there for a couple of hours, not have to think about the world, and relax. And Netflix is lagging behind there. And Hbo Max is coming along, Apple TV, and Amazon at a smaller percentage. But this is what Netflix needs to do. They really need to enhance their movies if they can. But if they can't, they're gone. So what should you do as an investor? If you're already in the stock, well, what can you do? Take your losses and run. Hope for a rainy day. But to be honest, I don't see them going back up to 600, in my honest opinion, because I think you're going to see a bit of sideways movement and probably still dipping down. It's subscriber base, so I can't see it going up. So that's the biggest concern for a lot of shareholders, and then they will drag the price down over time as well. There could be a little bit of short-term gain because there's bound to be a rebound. Whether up to its old last week's figures, I don't know about that, but I could see it probably popping to about 300 or getting close to this. So you could probably make a short-term gain on this one if you want to load the boat, but it could be 6 months, so it might not be that short term, depending on how things go, how popular, because there's some stocks that you'd expect to have gone back up, like Facebook, and they've just stayed. So it just depends on the market. But Netflix is more popular than Facebook in terms of their shareholder base, so I'd expect more of a run from Netflix, where Facebook really only goes up when it's really absolutely smashing its numbers. So that's something to think about here. So Netflix. Should we buy? Should we walk away? Well, for me, it's a walk away. I've never had the stock because I've just always thought of it being overvalued. And, well, I still think it's overvalued now, so it's not for me. But 34% off for someone that does already own it and does have more conviction than me. Not financial advice, but you'd have to buy the dip if you fully believe this company is going to keep going up and up and up later on. It wouldn't make sense. But if you don't have the conviction, you have to decide, do you cut your losses and invest into something else? That's what investors have to think about all the time. But sometimes you just got to cut your losses and run. Sometimes you can make a big mistake and it goes up and up and up. But I found that with a few stocks that you've brought onto the hype, expect it's going to go up, and it doesn't, or it crashes and it still hasn't returned to the hype. And sometimes you just got to go, yeah, I've got to sell. You can keep buying the dip. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on the quality of the investment and where the growth potential is. And that's the biggest thing, is the growth potential of Netflix. Is it there paying a premium? The growth has stalled on the decline. That's what's happening there with Netflix. Well, let's have a look at the competition. Obviously, you got Disney. I'm going to be bullish and say Disney will be the long-term star in this thing. They just seem to just know what to do with the movies. They probably need a few more better series, in my opinion. That's just me. They need to improve their series. I think Netflix has clearly got that over Disney, so that's something they got as well. HBO Max, it's a bit of a what's happening there. They're obviously a danger, but Apple and Amazon just seem to be they have their shows, but they just not really seem to be competing to really want to take market share, which is interesting. I'm surprised they're not really pushing as hard for those shows. So it's going to be an interesting future here in this streaming world. Is the streaming world about to bust? As prices get higher and higher, people can't afford this stuff. It's going to be interesting to see, just like cable TV. There's still a little bit of cable TV, but most of it is just declined and out the back door. So obviously with the price dropping to 220 Netflix, to me, as I said, it'll have to drop to 150, if not more, for me to really even thinking about it being a good investment. Because for me, in investing, I like to invest in something I think is going to at least double its money. At least. I'm obviously optimistic of a lot more, but if I'm going to invest into a company, I want to invest in a company at the right price, knowing that it's going to be 100% gain in the future. Now, there's no guarantee that's going to ever happen, but if you can do your metrics and believe and have a look at where the long-term potential is on stocks, this is where you can really make your money. But there's some stocks that are, you got Alibaba, that's in that interesting phase here. It could be absolute bargain buys for Alibaba as it continues to fight off. Will it go up again, down, up and down, a little bit of sideways movement for a while here, Alibaba. But is it going to go back to where it used to be? The Chinese stocks are not very convincing at the moment, whether they will go there again. So that's stuff you got to think about. And even for a consistent company like Apple, you could be down quite a bit if you've just lately invested, because it seems to get to about 170, and that's about its peak at the moment, and then it just drops a bit, and then goes back up, drops, goes back up. So it's a good, with a stock with a stock like Apple, you got to buy those dips. You really do. Obviously, if you got in a lot earlier, that's the best, but there's no guarantee. Now, giving you a prime example of companies like Amazon. Now, Amazon at one point was really up decent amount, and then it dropped all the way down to, I think, nearly $1, something like that. It was at a decent price, and then it dropped right down to $1, and everyone's like, oh my god, I'm out of here, Amazon, and now it's over 3,000 a share. Now, if you were Houdini, if you pretty much got to pull a rabbit out of your hat if you brought back then. But I tell you what, if you did, you'd be one of the richest out there. Just like Bitcoin as well, you know. There was some luck when it comes to this stuff, and Tesla to me was luck. Now, people say yes, Elon Musk, but I think Tesla's price is more on Elon Musk than anything else. The company is pretty good. It does some good things, but to me, it's not that high valuation. But it's just one of those things. It's very popular. It's the number one in that space, and they get a premium price. To me, it's still overpriced, but there's so many fans. But at some point, it might drop. That's the danger you're going to have for Tesla. But Tesla has also dropped big time. If you could have got back at $500, $600 when it was there, that was the beautiful time to buy. Now it's skyrocketed. So, yeah, that's one stock that's actually probably gone against the trades here. Of all these other ones that have gone sky high and then they've just declined. Well, Tesla did decline, but it's gone back up to where it was and even above it. So that's an interesting thing. But Netflix, if you look at the stock price, was up as high as around $600 and then slowly declining, just like it's about to land at the tarmac. And you don't want to be landing at the tarmac. You want to be going up this way. Well, people that do believe in Netflix, the conviction in Netflix, well, you probably wanted to go down more so you can buy that dip, and then when it goes back up, no, not financial advice. I'm not saying it's going to go back up. I think it will go back up a little bit, but there's no way I believe Netflix will ever get to 600 again. It doesn't mean it can't happen, and funnier things have happened. But just on what I'm seeing, unless somehow they can find a way, to improve their subscription base, then yes, they can easily go back past 600. But I can't see them. I can see them going above where they are now, but I think it's just going to be a lot slower growth, and if they can keep declining, not good. So I think that's enough for me today here on Netflix, here at Barry Charles. I hope you enjoyed it. If you can subscribe to the channel and smash the like button, everyone of you out there that are checking out this channel, I've got plenty more videos that you can go check out now, and if you got any questions, just leave a comment below and I will get back to you. So take care out there and happy investing.